Can you beat Borderlands 4 by only gambling? Yes, of course you can. That's a stupid question. But how painful is it? This game, compared to the previous ones, has a few different ways of making gambling work at the cost of my sanity. So throughout the video, we will explain all the needed rules. For now, all you need to know is we will beat all of Borderlands 4 starting from the beginning, on hard difficulty of course, without any badass rank, using only gear we get by gambling, nothing else. We need to pick a Pokemon. What do you mean I'll get sued if I mention them? And we pick Rafa because he looks like someone who lost 3 marriages and half his organs to gambling already. We then start the tutorial where we get to use the basic white gun to at least do the tutorial. We do not equip the shield since it isn't gambling and get introduced to some mechanics like the grappling hook and the syringe. And after some cinematics and a boss fight, we land on Kairos. And we can immediately discard all the weapons we got in the tutorial, sell all our gear for money, and start gambling. In this game, you can gamble right away. That's right, the first method of gambling is fishing. You can do it in any body of water and rewards you with ass, and sometimes gear like weapons. Now, to not abuse any form of gambling degeneracy and to inflict more pain upon my supple body, here we set up a ground rule. Be allowed to gamble for gear even once. We need to complete a mission first, whether it be main mission or sub-mission, to force us to actually use said gambling gear. Since we have completed the tutorial, we get our first gamble, and we get, nice, a shotgun with a shitty auto sniper attachment. We do get another addition to the series, the jetpack. It alleviates my spaceball mashing though, so that's nice. Armed with a new weapon, it's time to test it out by doing some quests for some more fishing, where you can perfectly see how good fishing is. 2 explosive barrels, no gear. Skill issue, you might say, and all I can answer is doing your mom. We get another fishing spot and this time we get heals and an SMG. It ain't much, but it's dishonest work. Now that we have some form of gear, we need some test subjects, so onwards to the main mission where we need to protect the Burger Town.
Ramirez, take your team and secure the Burger Town.
We slaughter them with bullet-propelled rockets, rocket-propelled bullets, who knows. And meet Rush, who gives us the greatest vehicle progression in all of Borderlands. A clearly new innovation that only took 16 years of development to think about. Something they even make fun of later on, because if you make fun of it, you can dodge criticism. Well played, Randy Pitchford. Now please stop tweeting, you're about to kill your own company. With a bike in my pocket, we keep going through to reach Horse's Fortress, slaughtering bots along the way through the power of having serious Down syndrome, and being on my knees more than paying priestess. We reach our first named boss, the piss-smell-enjoying, freaky spy master, Horace. Unfortunate, we could have been great friends. We kill him and check his hard drives to find his folders, but unfortunately, the piss he was referring to was Sonic Concept Thoughts. Moving on. I should gamble here, but having room temp IQ, I actually forgot about it, so we missed the gambling window, and here we explain the second rule. I can only gamble instantly after every mission, and I cannot stockpile it, anything to add to the pain. So now, instead, I go on a side quest to actually get to gamble. Side quest took way longer than anticipated, killed half the population of the region to actually get to fish. Turns out fishing took longer than side quest, because fish is rare as fuck, and when you find it, you get fuck all most of the time. And after scouring the countryside like the Mongols, I finally found a fishing spot. And even got 2 weapons. An elemental SMG, and the GOAT, the incredible Jacob Sniper.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
It pops head like corn in the pan. And what you could also pop though, subscribe button and the like button as well if you've been enjoying yourself so far. If you don't, you'll be cursed and failing miserably at every gambling attempt you'll ever do. Up to you if you want to take that risk. Back to the video. Now that we're fully equipped, I go to meet a supposed vampire. I don't get the suck, and instead get greeted by Blondie here, who gets instantly kidnapped. Is this a Resident Evil crossover? I get ambushed, die like a bitch, go after Zadra to meatpacking plant, start drowning the plant in blood, get showered in it, go through to the killing floors and meet the oppressor. I get downed, a lot, but don't die thanks to a handy spot. We find her at her second lab, she gives us some exposition and unlocks the other regions. We then ride our metal steed to Carcadia Burns, doing some fishing on the way and getting this explosive shotgun that quickly becomes a staple of my barely aiming self. We meet idiot NPC number 4967, aka Quent, and try to blow up catapults attacking another town. Fail because of shit explosives, and need another way of destroying the catapults, so we go find Zane at Moxie's bar. Zane takes us to meet our solution, the cute Thresher Sophia here, go back to Catapult, get ass raped by Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson,
the catapult master, feed the catapults to Sophia, go back to town, and blast along the way with our new shotgun. Sophia then gets a mouthful of sword. Not the kind of sword I had in mind, but that'll do. And we get a new enemy for life, Kalis. She flees and we put back her minions, saving the town and finishing our main mission. With this quest done, we unlock our second gambling method, Moxie. This is a staple of the Borderlands series. Give her the tip over and over again and she'll give you one of two weapons. However, we will now impose a new rule since it's pretty much guaranteed gambling as long as you have the money for it. We will only be allowed to gamble at Moxies if we ever complete a main mission. This is so we don't abuse the mechanic, you'll understand why later. After giving her enough money to become a moderator on her Twitch channel, we get this dog shit assault rifle. For fuck's sake, simping really truly never works, damn. We then try to find some more gear by doing a side quest, get a fishing opportunity as a reward, and fuck it up massively by drowning. I am blessed by the gods. Only getting a shit pistol, so back to side quest. This time, we go and blow up claptrap stuff. Cathartic, you little shit. After getting a bigger collection of cans than a monster addict, what is going on here? We finally get this shit grenade. Gambling gear is what gambling takes. Back to side quest again, this time finding an unexploded missile in the middle of a town, and I really hoped this would end up like the Megatown in Fallout 3, but no such thing. The missile's AI just does a terrorist remix of Frozen's Do You Wanna Build a Snowman? Do you wanna build a snowman? Come on, let's go and play. And the missile just end up forgetting to subtract where it is from where it isn't, and just explodes in the air. Either way, back to gambling we go. This time we get an ink grenade that has singularity. Actually, this is a black hole, not a singularity. Shut your stupid! Giving us at least a slight form of crowd control. But a 12-second fuse, this shit blows up after I finish my postdoctoral thesis in my 30s. Being unsatisfied with what I had, I went back to side questing again, and since I had found a full vault key, I wanted to try it, and I didn't know it yet. But here, I made a terrible mistake. The first set of enemies blasted me, but eventually after being microwaved back into reality a few times, I got him, and I arrived at Incestus. No, my bad, it's Inceptus. Easy mistake to make, I spent too long talking to an Alabamian. Also, with how he took me for his gay little brother, given the fact that he made my whole artillery shell sized. This motherfucker has a huge health bar, and leaves shit stains everywhere, often killing you by surprise. He was also two-shotting me, sending me back to the microwaves a few times. I could have gone out to get more gear, but the attacks are well telegraphed and varied, there is ample ammo and ads to get back up. He was doable. I'm even going out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say the F word. I had fun, even more so with no gear. Also upgrades our jetpack, which makes them even more useful for this challenge. Either way, back to the real fun here, gambling. We get a big hole here with another Jacob sniper and a steroid-packed syringe for 200% extra damage. I might also need a syringe IRL to get rid of this huge boner that Needing some more fishing, I go to Reaper Therapy and, shockingly, it doesn't go well, but I get another charge on my fishing rod to get disappointment. Alright, fuck it, enough gambling, back to story. Since we already did all we needed to get to Moxie's Bar in Carcadia Falls, we can go back and finish the first region, where we start by going into Soul's production facility, delete the local population thanks to our new awesome sniper and I'm top bullet combo, and meet this special jizz-hardened dude that definitely hit his new PB at the gym. We threw him a special soap bottle since he probably didn't shower yet, and it dissolves his shell, which means he gets riddled with bullets. Where's your Ziz now? Unfortunately, we killed Soul's spotter, so he gets angry and tries to nuke the town. So we follow the plane back, board it, and destroy it from the inside out before exiting in a spectacular fashion. Thus, completing our mission, you know what time it is. That's right baby, it's time to gamble. Back to Moxie. Sim for a while, and shit rifle again. Never trust a hoe. We keep going through, blasting a hole through Soul's back door and his guards, and entering his fortress, we reach this all-shoulder, no-neck, kingpin lookalike, Idolator Soul. Killing him means we've officially finished this region, and it means another session of simping, which, like all simping, fails, and we get another ice cube launcher. Now, we unlock the last gambling means for this run, the power draw, where you can play the Pachinko for a chance at opening a red chest. Fucking sweet. Finally some good fucking gamba. I then realize once I win, it's a one-time thing only, and that I fucked up hard. Because that means this is our one and only chance at getting a shield, since I'm not even sure fishing can drop shields, and I blew my load too early.
Dr. Eric here, to talk to you about premature ejaculation.
Still, I do get rewarded with some weapons and a blue fragmented shield. Not the best, but it'll do. And since this is a side quest, it gets even better. I'll also get a fishing opportunity, granting me this blue SMG, which I thought would be shit, but not that bad. We go back to Cascada. No, this is just nostalgia. Sorry. We go back to Carcadia, prepare the town I left earlier, and it turns out Zane went missing to go find our enemy for life. Kalis. Kinda like my dad, he left to go find his enemy for life, cigarettes. Anywho, we follow him to the refinery, kill everything, go into the underground, find the Maga arena, survive the waves of climate deniers, meet mid-boss driller hole Charlie, we promote gun safety to him, and in a fit of irony, he dies. Go back to Moxie, steal the strippers' money to fuel our gambling addiction, and get shit called rifle. Again! Shit's fucking rigged, I know it. It's because of the strippers. It's always their fault. After a quick cigarette, we go back to the story. Kalis went off to the broken moon through a space elevator in a crater. It's a sentence that's been said. We boost our bike by pillaging a Ripper camp, jump into a crater, get into over-leveled enemy hell, struggle a bit, meet Mudmouth and his two vertically concentrated friends, get killed a lot by him and his turrets, and end up winning through the power of stun locking him with nades. Alright, here we go, finally into Callus' lair, face to face. Time to turn her into Swiss cheese. Done, that's the second region wrap. Back to Moxie, shit rifle again, you know the drill, I hate women with big tits at this point. Next up, side quest time. Apparently Skynet's causing earthquakes to break containment, just a regular day in Siberia. We delete his System 32 and send him back to the void. Fishing break, finally some decent fucking food. A solid Jacobs shotgun. And some garbage grenades. Still, I'd call that a good haul. More side quests, this one's psychotherapy. Literally zapping psychos in their brain until they're cured. Honestly, pretty effective. Cast the line again, and we pull nothing but a shit auto sniper and worthless heals. Don't gamble, kids. Back to side quest, this time it's a shit race. I swear to god, in every game there always has to be a shit race. Back to gambling. Jackpot, a good singularity nade that can explode on contact. Nice. Keep gambling, kids, you always come out on top. Another side quest. This time I cosplay as an Uber Eats driver and make a killing. We gamble again, fuck it up and only get the Taser SMG. Taser though is good because I was looking for a new shock weapon. I'm not coping. Also, maybe shields can be dropped from fishing? I don't know. I can't pick up more than 2 drops anyways because I'm incompetent. Back in Torvald, the second one goes way smoother than the first, still tough, but actually fun. And the reward? Jetpack upgrade. Being a master baiter at this point, I netted this nice sniper. We then go to the mountains to start the third region and get another difficulty spike up my ass from every enemy being 6 levels above me. After meeting old Lord Farquaad here, we try to go to his office to grab a magic rock. Get turbo blasted by everything, barely survive and meet the biggest bad in the world. Is he the reason TikTok blew up that fast? First try, even though she's a flying meat sack, the run is going better than expected so far. Don't get used to this. Then we grab the Supreme Pebble of Enlightenment, then get auditory hallucinations telling us to go find a siren. This wasn't a rock, but crystal meth, methinks. And we bring it back to the mountain town for all to enjoy this prize. Let's go gambling now! Bitch gave me a fucking cold rifle again! What the fuck, bro? Do I look like Mr. Freeze or some shit? Now, we need to go find a siren. Of course she's at the end of a monster-infected cave. We find her after purging the cave, do some blah blah, find the respect to include shield nodes since we got a shield earlier to improve our abysmal survival, which I delayed since I was doing mostly alright until now, where I started getting blasted. This is what the tree looks like so far. For this run, it's about the best nodes you can take. Back to the quest, the siren is addicted to a magic rock called Iridium to fuel her power. Yeah, another purple crystal which magically makes you more powerful. This is basically the plot of Breaking Bad at this point. So we go to an enemy occupied mine to get some, go through more enemies, to reach the refinery. We blow waves of enemies, blow up waves of enemies. Whoops. Then we blow up the refinery's core, which allows me to get back to stripper Mary Poppins and another shit rifle. I'm about to go bald if I keep getting this rifle, bro. Holy. We then have to do a long-ass side quest where we need to save a girl from a Ripper camp, pretty much Rambo's plot line, and get rewarded in gambling. A good shock cryo SMG and a gun with legs. Not as bad as you'd think. With it, back to main quest. Fight some over-leveled flora, succeed, enter a black site. Not that kind of site, you degenerate gooners. Find a failed experiment with weird crystals on his back. Blast him because of course we do. And upon seeing a weird portal, some weird-ass dude comes out of it and flees. Back to Moxie, and finally, a legendary shotgun. This weapon is the sole reason we have to limit Moxie's attempts. This weapon is nuts, completely insane. And if we don't limit how many times we can gamble at Moxie's, we could very easily have 4 different elemental shotguns and fist this game. This one is a shock cryo, not the best, but not the worst. We go back to doing a side quest because I was doing no damage to some overleveled cunts. We rescue some dude and fishing gets us a shit SMG. We then do an Ashton Hall impression and pretend to be a FedEx employee, bringing a robot to the server location, and then struggle even more with fishing, have a bat accident, and finally, we get a pretty decent pistol and some shit nades. We become FedEx again, and this time get an automatic sniper. This other time working for Amazon, we get flirted on by a robot named Chad. Honestly, not the worst flirt I've ever had, I'll be honest. Back to fishing, we get nothing, so back to side quests. We assemble the bat signal, summon an idiot, so the bat signal works. Nice. Fishing gets us nothing again. Starting to feel like gambling maybe isn't good for you. Fuck it. We go back to main quest with a siren. Try to breach a fortress, get defeated by a slight incline, go to power substation to open gates, get strongly carried by Moxie's shotgun. I take back everything I've ever said about you, Moxie. Love what you're doing. Keep up the good work. We meet Bruce. He opens doors and looks like a bulkhead. Kinda like Ben Affleck's Bruce. We struggle with overleveled enemies again. Wonder why they placed them as such, and get to finally break the power station. Going back into the fortress, we blast through everyone because the enemies are back to regular level, and we meet Vile Lichter, our next boss, who gets decimated by the shotgun. Thank you, Moxie. We then open the third vault. Again, it ends up being not too hard. We slam the boss and it nets us our final jet upgrade. Back to gambling. We get fuck all. Is gambling wrong? No. I must have not gambled enough yet. We need to go to the moon to save some random idiots, so we have to use the space elevator from Calais, which means going back to the Hell Crater. A few microwavings later, we get on the space elevator, kill everything in waves, and reach the moon. Space! Unfortunately for us, the moon is filled with strippers. Nope, wrong moon. This one is filled with rippers. Since we can't expect God to do all the work, it's time to purge. God bless America. Eventually, we finally reach the Shadow Realm, where we find Lilith. Not her again, man. The last game she made me lose my mind, not her. Please, I beg. Stop! Where are you taking me? Ah! She was the one talking to us through a magic rock. We get her out of it and meet our enemy for life. Again, Calais. Like the first time, falls pretty easily. We then teleport back to Moxie and it's gambling time again. Wait, what? The gambling jar is closed? What do you mean I can't gamble? What is this scam? Open the slots, you fucker! You won't take me again! I got a knife! No, I don't have a gambling addiction! Fuck you! Fine, I'll come back next time. We keep going and assault the main city, Dominion. This place is the final stretch. Unfortunately for me, it's filled with over-leveled enemies. But I slog through its streets to finally reach the safe house. Completing yet another quest and granting us another chance to gamble for another shit rifle. Well, can't win them all. As a matter of fact, you almost never win. There might be a lesson in there somewhere, but I can't find it through all the debts I accumulated from gambling. With all the gambling done, it's time to go to the final boss's house, the Ascension Tower. After struggling to pass the bouncers for a while, cause I quote, didn't dress properly, I finally got through after showing them my new Supreme sweater. Did you mean Supreme was the shit 7 years ago? I swear everybody wanted Supreme like yesterday, no? We then get denied again by a giant laser firing triangle. Alright, we need to grab some stuff for it. We go to a rail depot where surprisingly it's also get railed. That's fun. We then power through with the power of infinite respawns and money to get to the anti-triangle rod. We then come back to the previous tower's entrance, struggle with the bounces again, and get denied access again. Starting to feel like I'm ugly or some shit. We do a tactical retreat, and get mind controlled into killing Blondie. Not the worst thing that's happened today, to be fair, but still. Good news though, another mission finished, meaning we can go back to gambling. And almost 100k later, we get this beauty. Gambling finally paying off. A corrosive shock legendary shotgun. The goat itself. We did 2 shit side quests that grant us nothing, and in one of them I meet a torso with a very understandable Scottish dialect. Since plans A through Z have all failed, I decided to go with plan D, where we go and dig down everyone armed with our new shotgun. We'll go back to the tower after killing a commander and stealing his ID to finally be able to enter and start climbing. We get through the first guards and I reach this section where I just broke. Every fight up until now, even with the busted shotguns, took several minutes. But this one, even with minutes, just started to become too much. The survival was just abysmal, and our damage with the shotgun, while high, wasn't enough to overcome me getting anally probed like your daddy. Yup. Even he took a finger up the ass. It was time to respec. One last time. We do a bunch of side quests and a bunch of fishing, ending up with this loadout. And finally, we spec our tree into El Corazon for more survival and these Peacekeeper nodes. With that, we go back to the tower. Finish climbing it like an adrenaline addict, and we meet the last boss, Timekeeper. Using our broken shotgun, we kill him, and nope, I get infected by a massive dose of skill issue, and I have to retry him. Second time's the charm though, and he dies. The fight is pretty easy, all things considered, compared to the shit ton of over-leveled enemies up until this point. We then have one last boss, a scammer, and with that, it's done. Borderlands 4 using only gambling is finished. This game, for some reason, has no other gambling. This is genuinely a stupid decision, as every game before this one had slot machines to gamble for weapons, class mods, etc. But for some dumb reason, Borderlands 4 has none of that, just fishing. The power drop could have been a really cool alternative way to add in some gambling, but again, it's a one-time thing only. Why, Randy? Why? Coupled with the very steep price tag of $70, this game needs some fixing. That being said, the game is still pretty good. The gameplay loop is nice, the vaults are genuinely super fun, nothing complex, it's just loot and shoot. But the well-designed bosses at the end make it very fun. All in all, a fun game, but it does require a decent machine, so buy at your own risk. That's it for this video. Hope you liked it, and I'll see you next week for another one. Bye bye.